President Trump rallied his supporters in New Mexico yesterday, but is receiving mixed reaction for some of the things he said to the crowd. Here to talk about this is Travis County GOP Communications Director Andy Hogue and Oscar Silva with Battleground, Texas. Oscar, a Democratic representative from New Mexico, said he doesn't understand why the president would ask voters if they favored Hispanics or the country. What do you think the president meant by that?
Mike, I am just as confused. I don't understand how you separate the composition of this country and this theoretical that the country can be a building or something. I think, I'm not surprised, though. I think that President Trump has been making remarks against my community over and over again, most of which don't make sense, and the ones that do are incredibly unbelievable. And I think it's one thing that Latinos are paying more and more attention to, and we're seeing it here in Texas and all over the country. And it's just a forecasting of what this election is going to have.
You know, Andy, recent polls show the president is lagging behind the Democratic presidential candidates when it comes to Hispanic voters. What does he need to do to change the perception of him?
Absolutely nothing. He needs to steer the course and stand on conservative principles that have worked ever since the foundation of our great republic. Being Constitution Day, I can't stress that enough. Our Bill of Rights is just fine the way it is. Our Constitution is fine the way it is. Our system of checks and balances are just fine, and our president recognizes a lot of that. So in order to win over Hispanics or any demographic, he just needs to steer the course and keep ruling as good as he has as the chief executive. He's done a great job so far. The economy's roaring. I don't know what else he can do.
You know, Oscar, do you think the president has any sort of a chance at turning New Mexico, turning it red?
I mean, let's look at the numbers, Mike. The fact is that more and more Latinx, Hispanics across the country are not just not supporting Republican values, but they are actually going against them. We see that the latest polls are showing that Latinos are even more than excited. They're motivated to vote and to turn out this election, and that is because it is no longer about issues that sometimes go, potentially over our head. We don't see the connection. We are on the defense for our families. We're on the defense for our lives. We're on the defense for our neighbors, and we've never had a battle like this before, and so there is no chance that New Mexico can flip. In fact, we are in this great state of Texas in the middle of Hispanic Heritage Month, and we're going to see, in fact, what happened in New Mexico happen here in Texas as well.
Andy, what are the odds that the president can turn New Mexico?
Yeah, well, look, it's common knowledge that on the third or fourth generation, a lot of Hispanic and Latino voters do identify as Caucasian or maybe select nothing whatsoever on a form. So we don't know how many actually, third, fourth, fifth generation Texans would support Trump. But as far as New Mexico goes, I think it's just the same situation. A large immigrant culture, a large number of immigrants that have come here, second generation, third generation, and it's just a matter of, again, Trump showing that there are pragmatic reasons to vote Republican and vote for conservative principles, and again, just stand on that record and keep leading by example.
You know, Oscar, is there one thing you can point to where the president truly loses Hispanic people?
Mike, first I'd like to say I don't know that it is common knowledge that Hispanics stop identifying as Latinos or Hispanic as generations go by. In fact, speaking specifically to Texas and pointing to this to your question as well, in Texas, the majority, the largest minority group, ethnic group is Latinos. In 2022, 2024, we will be the plurality, which means we'll be the largest ethnic group. In the 40s, we'll be the majority of Texans. And you can point at different age groups. In fact, out of 350,000 Texans who turn 18 years of age every single year, 225,000 of them are Latinos. As we continue to grow and we continue to gain strength and we continue to identify with progressive values, as is myself, you will see that the Republican Party unfortunately has lost ground in a state where they previously held strongly.
Okay, we got to wrap it up. Andy, Oscar, thank you both very much.
A lot of unknowns. Thanks.